Alrighty, welcome back. We're going to take off where we left off. We're getting a slow start, Sunday fun day. We've had a lot more fun than we have anything. We've had a little bit of company stopping this morning. A friend of mine, Tim, with his Ford truck stopped in. Him and his girlfriend laid some rubber out front. Motivated me. That thing will peel, man. That thing will peel. We had some visitors in from PEI after that. It's funny, we were just at PEI yesterday, and I told them if they would have been home, we would have visited them. Not true, but we were there. Anyways, we bought a motorbike yesterday. We're very happy with it. One thing I have to tell the YouTubers, if you do not know that we've done something like that, it's because Jolene posts that stuff on Facebook. That's right. She posts it on Facebook. It's pretty hard to make a... No, it's not that hard, but yes, it is that hard because she does enough as it is. But she posted that on Facebook. Sometimes there's a few more things on Facebook than there is the YouTube station because we're only generally putting the work on that we do. But Jolene has more content on the Facebook page if you want to go and see. I'm not sure if you do, but I'll let you know, just so you know. Basically, what's going to happen today is I'm going to try to do as much work I can to get us a little show on the YouTube. I'm going to do as much work as I can. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do because I talk all the time, obviously, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to put this piece in and do it as quickly as possible. And then we'll try to do some welding up here, and then I can try to put that firewall in, and I'm going forward. That's basically it. I'm going to go forward. So here we go. I'm going to try to put this in. Get my knee pads on. Knee pads on. It was a nice drive to PEI yesterday. Yes, it was. It was nice to get away and go for a drive. PEI, when we cross the border there, PEI is doing a fantastic job on their testing or whatever they're doing there, you call it, making sure who's coming in, who's coming out. They're doing a fantastic job. You can tell because you have to go there and see, won't you? I'm going to cut this off. I think I made this an inch long when I first cut it. I'm going to cut it off an inch. I see I've got lots. I've got lots up front there. I don't need to go that high. I can bring that down some. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And I also... And we'll go as far as we need to make it look like we want it to. I'm just going to take the edges off it right now because it's sharp. I'm going to take that off the flapper wheel. I'm going to take it off the flapper wheel. Just so I can handle a little bit better, so it's a little bit nicer. Don't want to cut that off yet. I'm going to cut that off an inch. And the reason being because I know I made it an inch too long. And it's okay, I don't need it. I guessed that, an inch. I guessed it. Doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm going to get it in there. I think what I'm going to do is I'll tack it in place. I'm going to knock a few other places off here with the grinder. I'm going to use this grinder instead of the flapper wheel, just because it's got a hard disc on it, and sometimes the flapper wheel won't get in exactly where I want to get. I have a spot marked right here that I have where I cut the door open. And then I have another mark for my door gap. So I'm going to cut that mark. I'm going to cut that mark right down to there, to the corner. Then I want to look at the bottom of the door. I want to flatten that off some. It looks like to me like it's up a little bit here in the center. It looks up, you know, it looks that way. And if it looks that way, that's the way it probably is. So I'm just going to take that down just a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll have to cut the bottom of the door off to make the door gap for that. But I want to cut this first, because this is where this piece here is going to fit into the outside gap. The door is going to make the inside gap. Going to flapper wheel that off so it's not sharp. Just trying to make it nice and round. I guess 3/16 is probably your gap, probably what you want, I guess. 3/16 or a little bit better. I would say if you're welding something up, you'd at least want 1/4 of an inch to start with, so you can have room for fill. Stand back here and take a look. Actually, I'm going to get a ruler and just draw a line across the bottom of that, see where I'm going with it. So we're up there in the center. You can see where I'm hitting the ruler's hitting there, the ruler's hitting there. We seem to be up in the center just a little bit, just like my eye told me. We're going to sand that down. Why not? Jolene looks amazing today. My little sparkles. She's sparkling today, boys. She's sparkling today. If you want something flat, you must hold your tool that you're working with flat. You must hold it flat. That must come into common sense. You must hold your tool flat if you want something flat. I'm going to take a smidgen off that with the zip cut because I feel like it. No, I don't want that glove off, but maybe I do. Just give me something to go by. Might be being fussy, but I want it off a little bit, I guess. Happier, that's for sure. Happier. Alrighty. Wow. I'm going to take a look at the other side and what I'm going to look for. You can see how I'm pushing that down in there. It must have drew that line down a little bit on this side as I'm looking at this. When I push that down and angle that out a little bit, it angles that down a little bit. I want to see if it did that to that side. Just so I know. Not bad. I'm going to turn the welder on, get it tacked on. And that way there, when I get it tacked on, it'll hold it for me. And then I can mark it where it needs to be. And all kinds of little stuff. Should have my new Lincoln helmet on probably, but we're not ready yet. So when we get ready, that's when we'll do it, won't we, baby? That's when we'll do it. I'm going to keep this on. Basically, what I'm going to try to do is get this in shape here. Whew, that's a hard one. One didn't go down. That one fits nicer than the others, don't we? I knew that before I even touched it, that I did not have the ground hooked up. I knew it. How did I know that? Because I did. Ouch. Thank you for the magnet. Appreciate it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. Alrighty. Tacked in here. See what we got. right. Tack it on this side. Cool. Gas turned on. That's going to go up there. It's going to go in there. Just going to have to make sure it fits before I tack it on there. Basically, the end of the matter is got to make sure it fits before I start tacking it on there. That's got to be cut and laid back, obviously. Yeah. Alrighty. Take that off. I can tell you one thing I see as I've started. I've got this side. I've cut that off. I'll just continue on. Continue on. I've got a little shy on this side. Right there to there. I cut that much off. Did I do a boo-boo? Yeah, did I do a boo-boo? I'm going to put that back on there, I guess. Oop. Yeah. Just trying to get it in place so I can do something with it, you know, just trying to get it in place. Not going so easy right now. It's not going so easy. Huh. Alrighty. Hey. Ouch. Woo! Hot. That's going like that. I don't know why that happened like that, but it did. It did. This thing right here. Look at that. That's just banging it on there, or banging it out, I guess, and putting it on there. Now, what I got going on here, I'm just a little bit shy, and I should have never cut that off. Should never have done that, but I did, and I've got to live with it. I've got to live with it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it right there. It's level. I got to go with it. Looks good. So I know where that goes. I'm going to mark this where I know where that goes. Then I can put it on back in the exact same spot. That back in there. It's a little shy there, a little shy. You can fix that up, that's no problem. Now basically I want to trim this off. Hoping it's marking. Now we'll just knock it off and then we'll put it back on. No, I'm not going to knock it off. I'm going to leave it on there. I marked it. Yes, I did. I could mark it and take it off and do it, but it's so close I can do it with the grinder and watch as it comes through. Kind of just do it this way then, I guess. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to tack that back there again. Put that back on. It's not going nowhere. It's on the edge of that. It's on the edge of that. That's shaped a little different there. That's okay. And we're shaped a little, almost perfectly the same there. It's okay. It's okay. It's part of the floor. Now, gloves back on. I'm going to cut that off. We'll put that piece in. So, normally I would have took it and cut it off, or took it back off and then trim that line, then put it back on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off right on the truck. I'm not going to take it back off. I can see my blade as I run it down across there. I'll flapper wheel it back. Be good. already. I'm just going to take the flapper wheel, knock it back, and tack it on a few more places. And then I'll start banging it on for good. Just going to do it quickly with the third arm. How quick it's going to be done, but that's basically how the whole thing has to be. It has to be 45 like that, so I can do a nice job grinding it off. If I do not do this, when I butt weld that all together, 45 those two metals together, I cannot say that I can grind all the weld off unless I have it fitting like that. Until I have it fitting like that, I do not weld it. Hey, come on, Chetty. I think I did the exact same thing on the other side. Took off for a ride like that. Got to get myself a hammer real quick. I might be trying to go too fast. That could be making myself slower. I have no idea, but instead of taking it back off, just want it tight like that, and I keep going like that. I want to change this flapper wheel, give myself a new one. Back of the truck here. When these are new, they're very sharp. You got to watch yourself. When they're new, they cut really fast and nice. There we go. I'm just going to keep knocking it back the whole way and just keep tacking it on. As I have that one knocked on there like that and it's out too far, I have to knock that back off and shove it in. It's just to hold it in place. Hold it in place. So just going to keep knocking it off all the way back. Keep making it lay tight. Just going to go a little bit by little bit. That way there, I know I'm doing the right thing. And that's how you know you got it butted together when you start burning holes. Isn't that the truth? Huh? You know when you got her together. Got to go down on the metal. I made a mistake there. I started going up on it, lift it up. I want it to go down with the grinder. I want the wheel going this way to push the metal down on the car. All I'm trying to do is make sure is I got the metal on a 45, so when I hit the welder on it, or when I hit the grinder on it, flapper wheel on it, to burn the weld off, I'm just hoping that I have enough material. Yeah. Get her hot. Need more off there. Ready. Flap a little more off here. As I'm burning that, I have flapper wheeled the metal off. It's sitting on top of this metal. As I'm burning it off, I'm finding I'm able to punch a hole in it like that very easy. So what I'm doing is I'm starting my wire on top of this metal and then melting it down on top of the other metal. And I'm calling it butt welder. So I'm starting on the top of the metal. You can see how it's burning off there on that edge. It's burnt right off. So I'm starting on top and burning it down on. And if I try to start it here, I'll punch a hole in it every time by looks of things. How I've got it like that. Start on top and go down. And there is ways that you should be, you know, I'm just paying attention to it, that's all. And that's how I've noticed it. Whack around here, man. Flapper wheel this off. Now I've got to beat it down on there close. I'll be very careful about welding that up. It's very close, but that's the name of the game, I guess. Name of the game. I'm going to get a pair of C clamps, clamp that on there. I'm going to weld that there, across there, and then I'll cut this, fold that in, turn this off just for a minute. Just want to C channel it. Should take two of them in case I want to do. I'll do one side at a time, I guess. That's what I can do. I just want to pry this back. I'm going to cut that off straight while I got the chance. It's coming down on an angle there. I want to cut it off straight. I've got the chance to cut it off straight. Why not? Back on. Crabbing the welder this morning. I'm crabbing the welder. What I mean by crabbing it is getting it too close. Okay. Might as well put a couple more spots on her here, everywheres. Weld them down on top of it, so it burns down on top of it. Also, the door has undercoating in the inside. It pops back at you. Dab on 6 there. She's working. She's working good. What are we out of gas? There we go. Just had the adjustment set up wrong. Something's going on weird there a little bit, seems to be. Alrighty. This is what's got to happen here. As I'm putting this on here. This has got to go here, but this has got to go in for here. So I'm going to slip this down in here, and we're going to push that in. Exact same thing with this side. We'll slip this here, and then we'll push that in and see where it goes. Okay. Just going to get my third arm. Cut a little more out of it. A little tight. Now I guess I understood before, but I understand more why everybody's saying gull wing doors now that they see this piece here. It reminds you of the Mercedes gull wing. Alrighty. Cut this one down here. Might as well do this one too. That one goes into there. Awesome. Put the helmet back on. Up, up, up. That's good. Flapper wheel this. Don't want to flapper wheel away. Beautiful. We'll do our tack welds. I try not to hammer my metal up too much. What will I use there? First person that writes co-hanger, I'm giving a hat or a shirt to. First person that writes it. Exact same thing with that. Coat hanger, whatever. Or the welding rods. Trying to push it back far enough so when I weld it, I'm on a good margin, and a good margin for. I'm thinking about grinding it when I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm thinking about the grinding process. Yep. Sometimes you got to think that far forward, sometimes. Alrighty, I'm going to get flat. I'm going to knock this back a little bit before I start welding them up. They're not right on the mark where I want them. Knock them back a little bit. I'm going to get a coat hanger. I'm going to turn on the air. I'm going to fill that full. Turn on the air. And the reason I want air is because I'm going to have to put a bit of heat there to get it. And the heat is from the rod. You know, there's a bit of welding there to fill that hole. It's going to get warm, so I don't want it to get warm. I want it to stay cool, but yet repair it. Ooh, I'm running. Alrighty, I might have had one on the back there already. But air's on. What I like to do with this, just stick it in my pocket, have it on my hip, so I can pull it out at any time. Put the air to the situation that I'm at. The only thing I'm doing to this here, so I'm just adding product. That's all I'm doing, adding product. Just because I should have not cut that little piece off. Oh well. That's the way she goes sometimes. Just carry on. Carry on. Just keeping it cool with the air. Go to the other side. Didn't want that. Whatever. Going to the other side. Get off. Don't know why that spitting on me. Why is that spitting on me? Take this off. Yeah, we're good. Probably didn't have the nozzle cleaned off good enough. But as I'm putting some heat to that, these need to be going across. This needs to be welded up. So as I'm doing that, I'll jump right onto this sort of stuff and go over there and try to weld that hole. Try to keep the heat all around the whole thing. That's all that was, because the end of my welder was dirty. That's what it was. Oh, sorry. Maybe get the shot. Run some air down around here. Make sure it's cool. So I'm going to run a few welds across there, down along here again. Then I'm going to jump up in there and do a little bit of welding. And the reason being is to keep the heat down and to move it around. When you're welding, you should be listening. You should be listening and also paying attention. So, as you're welding, you should be listening and paying attention how long your welder's buzzing for, what it's sounding like, all that sort of stuff. There's so many things that make a good welder. Knowing when your machine is not working right. If you know, that makes a good welder when you know, or you pick up on it quickly. I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to do a little bit of welding around, or I want to. I may as well just stay right here and get it welded up, I guess. I'm going to move this. Set that right there. I want to flap a wheel for a second. Grind this back just a little bit. Alrighty. Just going to take the hand off. Cold, cold, cold. Let's put some heat to it. It's cold. Let's put the heat to it. When I start hitting it more than 4 or 5 times in a row, I always put the air to it. Generally, or try to, because you're actually putting more heat to the car. What a perfect fit, eh? I cut that little bit off and had to put it back. It's okay. It's okay. Can't see there. Checking my mic. When I go back around like that and I do that pattern again, every time I go back, I'm just picking one of the welds where I've not welded beside it yet, and I'm picking that one and welding beside it. Because it must not be hot, because it's not been welded beside. Touch it with my hand, see what's going on. Not hot at all. Not hot at all. Dog bell going on? What? I'll get a little more done, see if I can't get this scrubbed off. We'll see what happens. Let's get it welded up on the edge here, see if I can scrub it off, everybody, and make it look nice. Need the coat hanger, but you can do it without it if you want to keep plugging. And that right there was my fault. That hole was my fault because I took welded it there and then ground it and then caused myself a hole. I've got it plugged full again now. But I had to plug it some welds. I want to put the heat to it. Weld it back up. Let's do her again. Well, donor. Welding on the post isn't so bad sometimes. Doesn't hurt much. Not much there to warp. Want to feel it. I'm trying to knock it out. Show you how I do it. No heat. Let's do it again. Oh, sorry. Glove off, check for heat. Not bad. Got to watch myself. This is a flat piece of 18. There's no, didn't form nothing, didn't roll nothing, didn't anything. Just give it a little bend there and give it a little bend there. So I really want to be careful with the heat. I don't want something oil canned right there. That wouldn't be what I want. No. Let's do this. Let's get her on. Had a good time with Jolene last night, driving the PEI. That was fun. Had a good time, different things to see, you know. Had a great time. The bridge is crazy. Got to put the air to this as soon as I'm done. Burnt through. Got to put the air to it. Cool it off as soon as possible. Burnt through there. Just gonna wanted to stay and fix it. And you can tell how much further out the heat got. Look, you can see it. See where the heat, how much heat got out? More heat than all the rest of the places. We're right close by. You can tell by a panel when you're welding it how much heat's being put out by that reflection right there. Look at the heat there. Barely any heat whatsoever going out on those. Barely any heat whatsoever. You get back there where I dumped her 3 or 4 times. You see the heat pour out. See where the heat poured out where I dumped her 3 or 4 times. That's where the heat is, and you don't want to let it get away. Then you have a problem. We didn't let it get away. You can tell all the way along there there's no heat issues because there's not that far out. That's how you tell. So you'll know how much heat's put into something by just go over and looking at the reflection of the weld. I don't tell too many people. because it's, you know, it's something that, you know, when you're doing something, you should be able to reflect yourself and see how much heat's coming out of something. You want to keep that heat as close as possible. Close as possible. Now, sometimes I do it this way. I got a spot right here. Sometimes I do it this way. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and put the air to it. Boom, done. That's how, sometimes I'll do it that way. I generally try not to go more than 4 times. I find if you go generally more than 4 times, it'll take off on you. But you can make the weld look a little nicer. It'll lay down a little better. See where the heat there? See the heat coming out? Coming out there a little ways. Want to catch it with the air and tell them all come back. It's safe. Come on back, man. Come on back. It's safe. Just want to see if I can touch that now. See how hot it really is. Can't be that hot, can it? Beautiful. No heat whatsoever. All right, let's continue on. Get this bad boy done. Get this welded up, we'll give a hat or a shirt away. We will. Don't have to put the air to it, got too much heat right there. Want to put the air to it. Come on back. Okay with the air on that one. Let's finish her up here. Let's get this. Want to put a little bit more meat there, so when I grind it, that's all. But I wanted to put meat there, more meat there for. A little more meat right here. It's welded, I think, but I just want more. I want more. I'm on top because generally the heat's on top. That's why I'm on top, because the heat's on top. That's why I'm blowing it on top, because the heat's up here. And that's cool. Just want to show you. We're gonna do a 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the air on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The air to it so it don't go anywhere. One thing for sure, we should know, we should feel comfortable with, is what I'm trying to say, should feel comfortable with. I should feel comfortable in coming in here and flapper wheeling off all that weld on the top. If I hold, let's undo that just for shits and giggles. As I grind, if I want to grind that off, I should be okay if I hold that flat all the way along there. I should be able to grind that metal there flush. That metal is hot nowheres. That metal's not warped one bit. That's hard as a rock. I should be able to flapper wheel that nice, flat, right off completely. And on this side, I should be able to do the exact same thing because of the way I've made it fit to start with. I've got a little bit of work to do down in here. What I'll do is I'll stick in there and I'll keep using the air. I keep putting the air in. I'll do 4 or 5 shots, put the air to it, let it cool off, go over this side, do 4 or 5 shots, clean it up, put the air into it, do whatever. If I need any welding rod, I'll stick it in there and put it in there and use it. And basically that's the opening of the truck door. Yeah, happy with it. Looks good. Let's throw a... I should make that bubble stay in the middle no matter where I put it, shouldn't I? Huh? There's where I'm at. Not bad. It will do. Let's give away a hat or a shirt. And I'm happy with that. Looks good. Happy with that. Now what happens is with the door on, I gotta, get the hinges going now. I gotta make them hinges. I gotta take them hinges apart and get them going, get them stuck in there. Get the bottom of the door going. Exact same process as the other side. The only thing I'm going to do on this side that I did to that side is I'm not going to bend it the wrong way. The other side I bent the door skin the wrong way when I put it on the first time. This time I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to put an X on it. This is where I'm bending it on, and I'm not going to mess that up, I hope. So we got this put in, going for hinges, then door, then firewall. Pieces down here to connect the quarter panels and the front fenders. And then we might be sandblasting. But this still a ways off yet. Thanks for coming. Let's get a hat or a shirt going. Try to do a little less talking today, a little more work, I'm trying to put a piece in there and show you how we put a piece in there. So we got an hour? We've got an hour in welding that piece in, and that's not bad. Someone's come to you and said they got the door all welded up and it's been an hour. You'd be happy. You'd say, go weld the other one, wouldn't you? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I guess the basics is if you want to, do good work when it comes to doing your metal work, I like to use air. You can use whatever you want, but air's nice. I've cut warping metal. I've cut that out of the shop. I cut it out, you know what I mean? I tried to cut it out just by the way we weld things up. We tried to cut it out. Got to thank Lincoln Electric Welder. They did a beautiful job with the welder this morning, welding that thing in there. That thing worked like a top. All I had to do was clean the nozzle. She was back in amazing order. Thank you, Lincoln Electric, very much. We're going to Letty's Car Show, September 2nd and 5th, the world's best oldies festival. I'm going to turn 50. I'll be 50 by the time we get there, and come and celebrate with me. Let's make it the best show they've ever had. Let's make it the best show they ever had. Mark Hall, really beautiful up there. Have a good one, guys. Beautiful day. Enjoy it. Thank you, Mark Hall. I know you're a nice person, Mark Hall, just by it's a beautiful day up there. Have a beautiful day, guys. You know, whatever. It's all good stuff. So Mark Hall, you really deserve your hat and shirt, whatever you want. You have to get a hold of Jolene, though. Mark Hall's the winner. And we have really good people on the pages. We really do. We have some good comments coming in. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I got that put in there in an hour. I got it cut, and I kind of messed it up a little bit by cutting it shy. And that shows you exactly how I used the old coat hanger to fill in any mistakes I've made. I could have cut that off and made another one. Yes, I could have, but I didn't want to. I wanted to continue forward, and that's some of the things that I do, so I continue forward as fast as possible. Use the air. Don't warp your stuff up, man. Don't warp it up. It's not worth it. You may as well kick the door in your car. If you're going to weld a patch in a car and have it all warped up, you might as well kick the door in first. Have a good one, guys. And ladies, gentlemen, ma'ams, madamsels, and my lovely Jolene.